Okay guys, so you just saw a bit of the unboxing of my new laptop, the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Extreme. I'm going to run through some features on this laptop and some of my thoughts after using the laptop for about a week now. I'm upgrading my old Lenovo laptop, the Ideapad U430 Touch that you can see here. I've had this laptop for the past 5 or 6 years, so I'm going to give a rundown of the specs on the old one so you can get an idea of how much of an upgrade the new ThinkPad is. And so like I said, the Lenovo Idea U430 Touch Ultrabook, it's a 14-inch touchscreen, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gig spinning hard drive with a little bit of solid state for some caching purposes. I've had this laptop for, like I said, the past 5 or 6 years. It's been pretty good for me, but it's getting bogged down doing video editing, running virtual machines, running different code. So I've wanted to upgrade and move on from this guy. So about a week ago, I purchased the ThinkPad X1 Extreme. I had really good luck with Lenovo as a brand for my last machine. It was solid, well built, so I went ahead and stuck with the brand. I took a look at some of the other offerings out there. The XPS 15 from Dell is good, but I just kind of preferred the ThinkPad. And so when I bought the Ideapad, my old laptop, I kind of went for the budget version of things. I ended up actually buying the display model. So that was interesting. I didn't have any issues, and I think I got lucky, but this time I kind of decided to go all in on the pricing here, and I went ahead and bought the highest spec version you can get. So I ended up with the 8th gen Intel Core i7. You actually get a 4K screen, or UHD screen rather. That's 400 nits. It looks pretty good. It's fairly bright and much brighter than my old laptop screen, which was one of my biggest complaints, is that you could hardly see it in the dark. It was a very dark screen. So I have 32 gigs of RAM on the new machine. It's 2 16 gig sticks. It has a full terabyte of solid state. You get a dedicated graphics card, 4 gigs of RAM, fingerprint reader which ended up being actually pretty cool, and then a backlit keyboard, which I was a big fan of on my old laptop. I actually did have that feature on my old laptop and my new one, and this is one of the interesting things, though, is that the backlighting on the X1 Extreme is worse than my old Ideapad. So the backlighting actually doesn't illuminate through the key, like the writing on the key at all. It's strictly just around the key, so there's a little bit harder to see which key you're pressing, but the keyboard in general is much better than the old one. It's a lot better feedback. So as far as sizing as well, the new X1 Extreme is a 15.6-inch laptop. The overall build size between my two laptops is very similar, because the old Ideapad had a much thicker bezel, whereas the X1 Extreme has actually cut that bezel at least in half, if not less. So you're getting a lot more screen with much less actual real estate on the laptop. And then as far as thickness, we're looking about the same. So size-wise, it's kind of a wash, which is good, and I would definitely prefer the newer 15.6-inch screen for editing videos or watching. It's just a lot better. The hinge on the X1 Extreme is actually kind of interesting. The laptop goes all the way flat, which is pretty cool. So you can just kind of see here, you can actually push the whole top of the screen flat. So if you're looking over top, that could be useful. I don't use the touchscreen too much, so it's really not any help for me, but this hinge is really well built, so that's good to know. But anyway, this is kind of the end of the video here. I'm going to go back through and do a full setup video of my new workstation, covering the keyboard and all the different products that I use. I'm going to have links to all of them and give you an idea of how everything sets up. But just for now, this is kind of just an overview of the new laptop I got and my first impressions with it for the first week or so. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and I appreciate you watching the video.